790 AM.
That is the all-time hit king, Pete Rose. And Houston's all-time hit king is on the line right now. We just talked some Indy 500, but we're going to get the up-close and personal report from our executive producer, Bun B, who's out there on the roads of Gumball 3000. And I got to ask you just a couple questions, Bun. First and foremost, how are you holding up on the road right now?
I actually hit the wall after the, not in the car.
Yes.
But like,
were you on the track in Indy?
No, but yeah, that's funny. No, that was a bad choice of terms. But yeah, no, I kind of, just to say we've been partying real hard on the road, and today my body told me enough of that. So as I made it back from the 500, man, I went upstairs and took a little nap, rejuvenated myself, and man, just an incredible experience getting up at 6 a.m., getting in the cars, 100-car line, $52 million plus worth of vehicles, caravanning, police escort, stopping traffic at every light, caravan right into the heart of Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Wow.
We had two suites in Gasoline Alley. We had pit passes, we had garage passes, so I was able to go into the garage. We were actually there with Barracuda Networks, and the team that actually won the Indy 500 last year with Dan Weldon. So we were able to go in and see our driver, Alex Tagliani, explain to us the intricacies of the Indy 500, show us around the garage, let us take pictures of the cars, meet other drivers, and then we went actually into the pit area itself and got to see our crews prepare to get these cars. And let me tell you, I've never seen as many tires as these people had today.
Oh, they got stacks on stacks on stacks of tires, huh?
Stacks on stacks.
Oh my God! Each team, literally 200 tires just there.
What?
It was just ridiculous, man. It was an incredible place to be in. The energy was electric. Hundreds of thousands of people. They also had a concert. Jägermeister sponsored a concert with 20,000 people, headlined by Skrillex. All of this going on while the Indy 500 was happening, and we were actually in the suite next to Honda. So when Francati won with that incredible Honda engine, you can only imagine how the people were going crazy in the suite next to us. It was an incredible race and totally unexpected finish. Sorry to see, the guys having problems today on the track, but that being said, man, it was an incredible Indy 500, and I can't believe I was right there in the pits experiencing this whole thing.
Well, man, it sounds like you've been getting it in. It sounds like your voice is a little bit hoarse, and I can relate to that, man. I know you've been out there having a damn good time, but it sounds like those pits had more rubber than an Asian massage parlor out there for the Indy 500.
Don't forget to tip your waitress, buddy.
Thank you very much. Hey, did you get a chance to say hello to Mrs. Franchitti, Miss Ashley Judd?
I wish I was, but I'm glad I didn't, because I was walking around and I was trying to remember. I was like, who is it that Ashley Judd is married to? Is it Helio? And you should have seen the look that I got from just bystanders for Indy 500 for not knowing my facts.
That's okay.
And,
That's okay.
After that, I kind of just kept my mouth shut and sat back and enjoyed the races,
Oh, right on.
But it was crazy that I happened to bring that name up, because literally when I made the comment, we were 12 laps to go.
Wow.
And of course, at that point, he wasn't even really in the conversation as far as finishing. And then next thing you know, boom, bing, here comes flying through.
Yep.
Clutch finish, incredible. If I'm going to be in an Indy 500, I got to say this was one to be at, because this is definitely one to remember.
Well, that's great. Hey, I'm glad you brought that up. How does it differ from watching it on TV in the past? Obviously, being there is going to be the experience itself, but you've mentioned there's concerts going on in the infield. You guys were parked out on the infield. Are you just overwhelmed by everything going on out there?
Oh, no, absolutely, man. It's just an incredible experience. And, to just watching how fast these cars go. Having been to Monaco and seen an F1 race, watching from the hairpin turn, it's a little bit different, because you're watching guys shift down from possibly fourth, fifth gear all the way down to first and trying to shift back up around the curve. Well, this one is just a constant expression of speed. And watching these guys do 200 plus around these tracks over and over and over again, it's almost impossible for the human eye to register how fast these things are flying at you. If you look straight ahead, you have to start at the far corner of the track and try to track the car with your eye as it goes past if you really want to see it. It's an incredible experience, man. And television goes through a lot of trouble to let us see the race in a great way, because when you're there, you got to really work to see that thing.
And these are open wheel. These guys' helmets are exposed to the air around them as they're flying around the track at 220 miles an hour.
Let me tell you something, man. It is not the coolest of environments. It was already a 97, 98 degree day in Indianapolis today. Now, you had all the layers of that crew clothing. You had the heat coming off of the engine that's sitting right there between your legs, and it makes for an incredible amount of stress. And I don't know how these guys can hold on to these cars going that fast. I mean, really, watching this today, seeing everything, the dynamics that go into putting a car together, maintaining a team, getting out there, trying to qualify for your pole position, and then getting in the race, man. I really commend all the drivers, all the crew members, the pit teams, and the companies, man. This is a very real commitment that these people make to take part in this, and it's really opened my eyes up to IndyCar racing.
These guys lose anywhere from 8 to 12 pounds of water weight during the race.
Wow.
Thousands of calories, they say. Thousands of calories.
And they say drivers aren't athletes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to our executive producer, Bun B, Trill OG. Once again, Sports Rap Live out on the road covering the greatest sporting events out at the Indy 500 today. You know, Bun, but that's enough about that. Tell us a little bit about the Gumball 3000 and what you're doing right now and how you've been hanging in there the past couple of days.
Well, today is day 3 for the Gumball 3000. Tomorrow we got to get up at the crack of dawn because all the cars are still on the tracks. We left all the cars in the infield. So tomorrow morning we have to get on the buses and go back out to the cars and get in the cars and start making our way to Kansas City. We're going to stop through St. Louis and then after Kansas City, driving on into Santa Fe, New Mexico, then on into Las Vegas, Nevada, and closing out again on Hollywood Boulevard at the Roosevelt Hotel.
Yes. We will be out there to welcome you to the finish line in LA. I would ask you how Canada was, but I don't even want to get into that. So you guys have made a couple stops along your way. What's up next? You guys hit Kansas City?
Well, our next stop is going to be St. Louis. We're going to be pulling up the cars under the St. Louis Archway, so people can come down to St. Louis's incredible landmark and see all the Gumball 3000 cars lined up for display.
Bun, so far compared to last year's 3000, how does this one comparing out so far?
It's giving it a run for its money. Last year, Gumball, we passed through 9 different countries from beginning to end. In this particular, we're only really doing 2, mainly just America with the one stop that we had in Toronto. But that being said, driving across America has literally been a lifelong dream for me. So I don't know about how the other drivers are taking it, but this is like, it's something that almost brings tears to your eyes, As a kid growing up, having atlases and almanacs in your house and seeing all these incredible places across the country, I never thought that I'd be able to just sit and take it in day by day from coast to coast. We're Atlantic to Pacific with this one, man, and it's an incredible feat.
So any other memorable stops thus far other than the Indy 500?
On this particular rally?
Yes.
I think just parking the cars today in Indy, we actually parked in Monument Circle. So what we did is we had all the cars parked in a circle all the way around the monument. It was an incredible display, and I've done this for 3 years now. And we go to great efforts to make sure that the cars are in a great position to be displayed for people to come by and see. But I have to say that the selection of Monument Circle and the way they went about parking the cars was absolutely brilliant. If you took an aerial shot of it, it looked like a multicolored sunflower. Amazing.
Oh, wow.
That's incredible.
Now, you've spent some time in the Hummer. Have you jumped around from car to car, or you've primarily just been riding in that Hummer we've seen on Twitter and Instagram?
No. My main thing is, I'm sorry, what was the question?
No, you've been in the Hummer. We've seen the white Hummer on Twitter and Instagram. Have you jumped around from car to car?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I started in the Hummer, but my friend was in his Rolls Royce Phantom, and he needed a co-pilot. And one thing about Gumball, we don't leave people behind, so unfortunately, I had to jump out of the beautiful comfort of my Hummer and jump into a big old, heavy, thick Rolls Royce Phantom and drive that thing around the country. So,
I'm so sorry for you, Bun, that you had to do it.
So I'm biting the bullet on it, But
hey, sacrifices, buddy.
I'm sure.
Sacrifices.
Well, let me ask you this: have you been able to keep up with any of this game tonight? We've got a A classic matchup. We got OKC up on the Spurs right now, 73-66.
In San Antonio, no doubt.
No, I haven't been able to keep up with this stuff as much as I want to. Unfortunately, the Gumball takes up so much of your time that you tend to lose sight of what's going on.
Hey,
I didn't even know there was a hip hop beef going on until Friday afternoon.
Oh, we got some beef? We got some beef to talk about?
Yeah, there's new beef out there.
What do we got? Boy, why don't you break it right here on Sports Rap Live on 790.
Well, I don't really want to get into it and entertain it and make it an issue or make it even seem like it's something we need to discuss on Sports Rap Live, because the reality is that we're here to promote positive things on this show.
Exactly.
We're here to promote the cultures uniting and not tearing each other apart. So we will not give that any airplay today. All we will do is continue to give these people great sports information and commentary like we always do right here on AS 790 Sports Rap Live.
Yeah.
Shout out to executive producer Bun B, Trill OG, for keeping it Trill right here on Sports Talk 790. When you hear from him next on Thursday, we will be recapping the entire Gumball 3000 from New York to LA, and I'm sure he'll have some stories to tell.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Bun, get back to the party, man. We're going to take it to Houston's top DWI lawyer in just a minute. But, hey, it's Shout Out Sunday. Why don't you give some people a shout out?
Well, first out to this Sunday, I want to give it up to, of course, Gary Trichter. because we here at Gumball do not drink and drive. So I definitely want to give him a shout out. I want to give a shout out to the entire crew at Sports Rap Live as well as the Rap Pack for holding it down for me while I'm gone these days at Gumball 3000. And I want to thank all the listeners out there for continuing to support, call in, tweet, Facebook posts, and even come to the club and take Instagram pictures of us and continue to help us promote the best sports talk and culture show in Houston and in the country, for that matter, Sports Rap Live.
Well, you're out there in the country seeing it all, man. So those words mean a lot to us here. You get a golf clap from Tito. Well, hey, be safe out there. We will see you on Thursday, Bun, and we'll keep up with you on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon, Bun.
Take it easy.
There he is, man. The Trill OG. And you want to know who the Trill OG when it comes to making sure you guys stay safe on the roads is? Who is that, ladies and gentlemen? Right here. Wait. One more time. Rap Pack is in the building. Who is Houston's top DWI lawyer? That's right. They're going to tell you themselves because I tell you all the time. So if you hear it coming from the Rap Pack, you know
It's legit.
that if you're going to have a drink, have a non-drinking designated driver or take a cab or a limo home, because both cost a lot less than calling Gary Trichter. And if you do decide to drink, then drive. Do not have any open containers of alcohol in your car. Follow the traffic laws religiously. Do not give an officer a reason to stop you. Do not tell him that you're on Gumball 3000 if you're speeding down 59, because it ain't coming through Houston. And I'll tell you that right now. And he's going to think you're crazy, out of your mind. And if you get really crazy and tell him that you just got back from the Indy 500, he's really going to take you straight to jail.
Oh, yeah. Game over. Do not collect
Do
$200.
not collect $100 and do not answer any questions about drinking, because the officer's not going to believe you anyhow. Continue being polite and ask for your lawyer, even if the officer says you can't have one. And remember that just like our podcast right here on Sports Rap Live and sportsraplive.com, you're going to be on video camera, and it's probably not going to be a pretty sight. And your wallet is definitely not going to think it's a pretty sight when you pay up to $10,000 in fines and fees on your license and court fees. So do me a favor, put his number in your phone, 713-524-1010, and call him in Houston, and visit TexasDWILaw.com for more information. Well, you guys know, hey, normally we get into the Martinez Report right there after the 9:13 break, but tonight we had the Trill OG call in, and that was great insight into his experience from Indianapolis 500.
I agree. I mean, it's one thing to hear about it or track it online, but to hear from someone that's out there right now.
Yeah, definitely. Well, speaking of out there getting it right now, the Astros, they were in LA over the weekend on their West Coast swing, where we saw Nigel Houston throw out the first pitch with pitching coach and, of course, good friend of the show, Ben Baller, after seeing Ben Baller at the only Lakers victory courtside in their series against this Thunder team.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Nigel Houston is a professional skateboarder, but basically the Kobe Bryant or Tiger Woods of skateboarding right now, bringing home about $150,000 a contest consistently.
That's that Deer Deck money. You better believe it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, the Astros aren't as bad on the road. I mentioned at the top of the show, they're not as bad as their record would indicate. They have one of the worst road records in baseball, Andrew, but they're really in every game. they gave up a walk-off hit last night. They were in the game 2-1 pretty much all day today. Who's had a good series for the Astros?
I think, Altuve, as always, he's always coming up clutch with big hits. He's setting the table. He was able to help them get out to at least, they had a lead in every game this weekend. On Friday, Friday night, Saturday night, even today they had an early lead, mostly because of him today. He even had a triple to lead off the game.
Nice.
So, the guy is just a table setter for this offense. I think J.D. Martinez is maybe starting to finally get out of his funk that he was in for a while there. He went 2 for 5 on Friday and hit a big home run. He also made a very good defensive play that helped them preserve the win. But he also went 0 for 4 in back-to-back games, which isn't too good. But today, the whole offense was struggling, so it's no fault of his own that he didn't do well. Lucas Harrell was outstanding on Friday night. He gave him 7.1 innings with just 1 earned run.
Wow.
That was probably
he battled Kershaw.
He outdueled Kershaw.
Yeah.
He had a better game than Kershaw for sure, which is big for him. It's big for his confidence. And, you look at him right now, I think he has like a 3.72 ERA somewhere around there. But he's doing everything the Astros need of him. When they made that decision to move Brett Myers to the bullpen, they needed someone to step up and be sort of that 4th and 5th guy. And he has really stepped up and held his end of the deal. Also, J.A. Happ today, he had 10 strikeouts and 6.1 innings with 2 earned runs. He really did all he could today to get a win for the Astros. It wasn't meant to be because Chris Capuano was just lights out for the Dodgers and just shut down the Astros offense. But he had a really, really good game himself. So I was pretty impressed with J.A. Happ today.
Awesome. And pretty impressed with the Astros overall. If they're losing on the road by 7 runs every night, there's got to be some alarm. But the way they're playing, they're in every game.
They are.
The Dodgers are one of the best teams in the NL right now.
They have, I think it might be the best home record in all of baseball. So to lose 2 out of 3, I'm happy they didn't get swept, which I think they might have been able to. But, their road record needs to get picked up. They need to pick it up a lot. They're 6-14 right now. But like you said, scrappy. They're staying scrappy out there. They're giving a product for the fans out there to go out and be supportive of.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about some more baseball stories. We mentioned Red Sox and Rays is really becoming more of a rivalry this season than Yankees versus Rays.
Yeah, and it might surround these comments from Luke Scott, who made a couple years ago. He said, as a baseball player, going there to work, it's a dump. He called Fenway a dump. He had a pretty long diatribe, but he basically finished up with, from a player's point of view, it's not a place you want to go to work. So those might have been the comments that got him stirred, that got the Red Sox stirred. I'm not really sure what the beating came from or why they went after him or what the whole situation was. But it seems like there is some bad blood starting to rival between the Rays and the Red Sox, which before it was the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Well, not only between the players, but now you got the managers getting involved. You got Madden and Valentine going back.
Yeah,
and
they
forth.
were calling the comments and the moves and the actions of Bobby Valentine was calling of Joe Madden that it was classless and sort of gutless and whatnot of the decisions he made, which I don't really understand that at all. But it seems like if it's coming from your manager, it's coming from a place that is going to be given some direction as to who they want plunked. So
the Rays are still a better team, bottom line.
I think they are a much better team. I think they're a much better managed team, too. I think Bobby Valentine, it just seems like he's always getting himself into some little kerfuffle here or there. It's always something with him that he's always finding himself in the middle of hot water, or at least the headlines.
He loves the attention.
And it's not for the good reasons. If you look at this weekend, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Rays. So, we'll talk about that also in our power rankings here in a minute.
Yeah.
But the Red Sox, they're not exactly getting back up to where they need to be.
Albert Pujols is starting to heat up a little bit.
He is. He's actually been on a tear this weekend, which is nice. I guess for a while there, the fun thing to talk about was, how many players are doing better than Albert Pujols, or how many players.
300 for a while there.
Yeah, he only had 1 home run, and for a while it took him. He had no home runs. So it's nice to see that he's finally getting around, being able to produce for that team. But the Angels, I saw that they have one of the worst drop-offs in attendance this season. So it seems like even signing Albert Pujols has not helped that Angels team.
You have a no-hitter from Weaver so far this season. You have Albert Pujols now in uniform. Kenji Morales is back, and they've had a drop-off in attendance.
Yeah, they've had a huge drop-off in attendance, and I think it goes to show that this team, they started off so slow that it really, if you produce a winner, the fans will show up. And I think the Angels, it's a little bit surprising to me because if you look at the standings, this Angels team has finally started to pull their weight, and they're finally now inching up closer and closer. They've already passed finally Oakland, but now they're still 6.5 behind Texas. But what's funny is I went to the standings today, and I start looking at the wild card.
They're right there on the wild card.
I forgot that there was 2 teams in the wild card.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, man, I forgot that there were those 2. So the Angels are 5.5 back of keeping up with the Rays and the Orioles.
I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about Texas in the power rankings in just a little bit. We'll probably save the power rankings until we come back from break.
Yeah.
So we can talk more baseball. But Yeah, the Rangers continue to just light up the American League. And Josh Hamilton, what can you say about this guy?
I mean, he's the best. He is the best.
So we see Steven Jackson catch an elbow right here from Kevin Durant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pulled off the Texas.
He has been on a tear. The other team I want to talk about that's been on a serious tear, and it's led by a guy that, if it wasn't for Josh Hamilton, he'd be up in the running for the MVP right now, and that's Paul Konerko. The White Sox, without Ozzie, are red hot.
And this is after he got punked in the face last week, or couple weeks ago.
They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. They just swept the red hot Indians. They took 2 or 3 from Minnesota.
The
was
Indians
terrible.
swept the Tigers earlier in the week.
Exactly. So this White Sox team, it seems like they've gotten their bullpen figured out. They've established that they're going to have Addison Reed as their closer, and they stopped, fiddle-faddling around with him and also with Chris Sale and what they were going to do with those guys. It seems like they figured out a plan, and it seems like it's taken off because this White Sox team is really coming up. And in the Tigers, they finally got a sweep, I think it was today, which they badly needed because that's a Tigers team that we've talked about that's just
worse record than the Astros right now.
Yeah, I mean, for a while there, yeah. I mean, and they've started to pick it up like that sweep, but they're still 5-5, and that Detroit team needs a lot of help.
Well, of course, tonight having Bun B call in from the Indy 500 was a very, very special segment. We wanted to get that in there. Normally, K-Dub joins us for some baseball talk, but tonight we are jam-packed. All the NBA action going on, a little bit of baseball. Let's continue to look around Major League Baseball with our eye on the diamond in the Martinez Report right here on Sports Talk 790 and iHeartRadio. We have a classic NBA game on right now. It's 73-73 with 7 minutes left. But let's get into a couple more.
Some other headlines that are out there. Roy Halladay had to leave his start today with shoulder soreness. You never, ever want to hear that with a pitcher with shoulder, any sort of injury. But for that guy especially, him being such an amazing pitcher and being always in the running for the Cy Young. And they really need him because you look at that Philadelphia Phillies team. They are struggling mightily right now with their offense, and they really need someone to help pick up that pace as far as, because the pitching's not there. We don't know what's going to happen to that team. Where Oswalt, apparently, he's asking for too much money. He's asking for too much money. He's asking, apparently, for a prorated amount of $7.5 million. He wants a better deal than Andy Pettitte got. So he's kind of getting shopped around from different teams. The Phillies are in that mix. They might need him if Halladay has a serious injury. The Red Sox obviously need the pitching. The Rangers have talked about maybe getting him, the Orioles. So there's a lot of teams that are out there in the running for him.
Nolan Ryan's got that ground beef money, though, man. He's got that sausage money.
Yeah, he does.
Come
I have my own line of beef products.
We'll get you on. We'll get you lined up for sure, man.
A guy that we've talked about in the past that's probably going to be making his debut soon, maybe not this Wednesday as he was projected, but he's going to be coming back soon, is Manny Ramirez. Manny is going to be
games. It's gone by quick.
It's gone by, so he's going to be appearing in that A's. Him and Yoenis Cespedes. I want to see those two together because that would be an interesting combination.
3-4 combination would be not too bad there. Not too bad. How's Manny been doing in the minor leagues right now?
He's been scuffling. He's been scuffling a little bit. He's hit 240. Not really that many extra base hits, but it's Manny. He's going to be there whenever it matters. So we'll see how he does.
Let's talk about. We're talking about winners right now. Let's talk about some losers, and the lovable losers from the Chicagoland area continue with an 11-game losing streak. How awesome is that for Theo and the Cubs? When I say awesome, I mean terrible.
I've been keeping up with on Twitter. If you follow the Cubs fans, and they're asking for Theo's head. I mean, Theo's only been there for a couple months, and they already are like, well, look at the trades he's made. This guy doesn't have us in contention. Like, they are ready to ask for his head. It's bad right now in Chicago.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Andrew Martinez Report. You can find him on Twitter at Antinez, ANDTINEZ. He also goes by the name DTI, stands for Dress to Impress, or his newer nickname, Church Clothes.
Get him on.
Yes, sir.
Get him on, man.
Church doors have opened for Andrew Martinez.
And shout out to intern Matt. It is Shout Out Sunday. He is here, and he's bringing the cold drinks here at Junction Bar and Grill, 160 West Gray, in the shout out downtown Houston. I got to send a big shout out to Bob Watson, who was honored recently as one of the pioneers in the Major League Baseball ranks. And I don't know if K-Dub was a part of that. Maybe we'll get him on for Shout Out Sunday so he can shout out his dad himself. But I heard that Mr. Watson was honored recently. So we'll get you on after the break and hear what that was all about. Because I love Bob Watson. He's one of my favorite people of all time in baseball. And it's
I think they could use Bob Watson out there in Chicago right now because the way things are going. I mean, an 11-game losing streak, Adam, that is, especially in the city of Chicago, it's just so bad. I mean, they're going to rival the Twins to be the worst teams. Two of the worst teams I've seen in quite a while. So,
Man.
I mean, and getting swept by the Pirates. I mean, props to the Pirates. I mean, they're doing their thing, but I mean, it's really bad for them. It's really those two teams especially. You know who's been surprisingly bad this year? If you want to talk about teams that are really bad,
Yeah.
the Colorado Rockies.
Oh yeah,
You
you
keep
love
up with
you
the
some
Rockies?
Jim Tracy, don't you?
Oh God, that team is in free fall right now, and it's so bad to see a guy like Troy Tulowitzki in such a free fall with this team because he's a great player. And today was a crazy game that they ended up losing, but I mean they have just been on such a free fall lately.
So their season is basically being flushed down the toilet, right?
They are 2 and 8 in their last 10.
Yeah, and this is a Rockies team that's been halfway decent the last
They
few
have
years.
Carlos Gonzalez, they have Troy Tulowitzki, they have some other decent players, but their pitching staff has just been terrible.
Definitely so.
One of the final notes I want to get to in our baseball report now. What stadium do you think this season has been the most hitter-friendly park? It's not a stadium you would think of.
Let me guess. No, that's why you're asking the question.
Yeah.
I played this game before.
I got one.
What is it?
What do you think it is,
I'm going
Luis?
to say the new Miami Marlins Stadium.
That's exactly right.
Look at Luis.
that is
Soccer. Not
that
only
is
does
the
he know
new-
soccer, he knows crappy ballparks too.
That is the new Hitter's Haven. It's a better hitter's park than even Coors.
Including Giancarlo, who basically tore down the scoreboard out there off of Jamie Moyer last week.
He's tearing all kinds of things down there.
Yeah, he
But
is.
It's surprising to me. I thought that place was going to play to be as more of a hitter's park because it seems so spacious. But the way it's playing,
You know what they call it? The humidor. Because, everybody in Miami smokes those Cuban cigars. They
I
call it the
guess.
humidor, yeah.
But it's surprising to see that Miami Marlins new stadium is the best hitter's park in baseball right now.
There it is. Hey,
You know why that is? Everybody wants to see the flamingos flap their wings and the dolphins do the jump. The hitters are
right.
trying to knock that ball out of the park.
Fly, Pelican, fly,
right.
Pelican.
That's right. All right.
Nice Scarface reference right there.
We got
Look at the pelican.
Fly, Pelican, fly.
That's right, man. Well, hey, we got to go to our last break of the night right here. But when we come back, we're going to get into our Sports Wrap Live Martinez Report Major League Baseball Power Rankings, and then we're going to get into our Shout Out Sunday segment. So if you got a shout out, get on the line right now, 713-212-5790, or hashtag Shout Out Sundays on Twitter at Sports Wrap Live, and that's rap with 2 P's, because 2 P's are better than 1.
Always.
Yes, sir. So get it in right now. We riding around, we getting it. Lames, be quiet.
Be quiet.
And we'll be right back here on Sports Wrap Live.
Wait a minute.